Professor Joey Alvarado, aka Professor Joey Jams.
That's me.
KettleJitsu Master.
Yes.
How's it going, man?
It's going pretty good, man. Starting off this year strong, you know. We're about to start doing some big things, you know.
Yeah. KettleJitsu's back.
KettleJitsu.
It's been a hiatus, right?
Never. Yeah.
Pandemic hiatus.
Definitely, like over the pandemic, I wasn't really motivated to do any certifications or anything like that. Like really, my focus was just this gym, you know, because we didn't know what was going to happen.
Yeah, we didn't.
So we really
keep things going.
We buckled down and we kept this gym up and running and stuff like that. And I wasn't really too keen on the idea of doing a whole certification on Zoom. I was doing Zoom.
We were one of the first people to put it down, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You started teaching the KettleJitsu classes.
So I was already teaching on Zoom, and that was just like kind of enough. And I was like, a whole cert like this, and I was just like, oh my god. Yeah. I was like, I don't know if I really want to do it.
Thank God, you know, for all the classes, the fitness classes that we had.
Oh man, yeah, for sure. Thank God, for sure. I would have went crazy.
That saved us all. It saved ourselves too.
Yeah, right? but you know, like because of us, man, we did what everybody should have done during the pandemic. Everybody did the opposite of what they should. Even at the beginning of the pandemic, they're like, it's targeting obese people, unhealthy people, blah, 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 blah. And what did everybody do? They locked themselves in their house and they gained, what do they call it? Like the COVID 30 or the COVID 20.
Right.
Like I think I got in better shape, man, because I was having to work out in the beginning with every Zoom class.
Yeah, when we first closed, right, for that month or whatever it was, a couple months. Man, a bunch of people that have the tendency, right, gain that weight, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
Even guys that are in shape, they still put some weight because, like, what are you doing? You know, you weren't supposed to go outside. You weren't supposed to go to the beach or go hiking or anything.
If you bought what they said, yes.
Right. We didn't know, right? So nobody knew.
But I still hiked. I still went to the park. Everything, man. You know what we did anyway. But so we did it right, man. We did it right because I think we helped a lot of people by being open, man. Otherwise,
that was our intent, right, from the beginning.
Yeah, that's what we do. Because we help people. But we kept people healthy, man, and kept people from going crazy, man, because people have lost their minds, man, over this. I mean, suicides are up and everything like that. I mean, like, who wants to be? I mean, I know people who don't want to come out of the house. I literally know people who are like, I ain't coming out into this whole thing. It blows over, you know, and it's scary, man.
It's such a not sensitive, but complicated situation.
It's extremely complicated.
It's not just like the person; it's like their family members.
Definitely.
It's you know, and we're all interconnected. So it's not like it's like one. It's like it's black and white. It's like gray, many shades of gray.
Yeah, man.
And there's no way around it, you know. So we just try to love everybody, right? And support everybody.
Yeah, you know, you got to do what's best for you. But you know, I'm glad we stood open. I would have went insane myself. But it did do a lot of things. It actually, like, you know, like right before the pandemic, I recorded 6 songs. You know, we did 7 songs. But then at that point, I didn't feel my lead guitar playing was up to par. So during that month, I was playing guitar like 10 hours a day. I was using that time. I was like getting better at guitar. Every day. I would wake up in the morning, boom. I'd come teach on Zoom. I'd go back home, and I'd play, man. So like, you know, we could have sat around and just rested around on our laurels and stuff like that, but we were just, you and I both were doing things. We were getting things popping on Legacy Online. We're getting, you know, so that's cool, man. Like I'm glad we did that, you know, because, you know, me, I didn't want to shut down. You didn't want to shut down, you know. We're stubborn like that, you know.
I mean, it's like we know it's good for people, right? And so.
And plus, also, I think, like, you know, we don't like to break routine.
Right.
No, I don't like, you know, like if you're really like you and me, like if you really love Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and you love TAC Fit, I love KettleJitsu. You're trying to take that away from me. You're crazy, dude. Yeah. I will fight tooth and nail for that because I have to have it. It's
our own mental health, right?
Yeah, for our mental health, like to stay crazy. And that's what people were doing after we were shut off for a month. People were like emailing us like, can we please come at least just roll? You know, and remember when the first people came in the gym, we got all happy. We were like hugging each other because we hadn't seen people in a while. We're like, a person. Listen, we haven't seen you. Come here. We're like, we wanted like craving.
There was like 4 mats, right? Do you remember that? Like we were teaching on Zoom, and all of us would rotate the class schedule, you know. And it was like 4 mats. We'd be like sanitize it between training sessions.
Crazy.
When we just saw each other, it was like what 3, 4 of us, you know.
Yeah, it was just like
5. You know,
it's like the only human beings that we'd see for a long time, and then when a few new people came, we were like, oh my God. And we're like all happy, hugging each other, trying to human contact, man. That's what, but that kind of should just show you, well, I mean, I've always known, like, you know, human contact is important, but right there we really like knew, we were like, oh my God,
feel it.
It feels so good to see somebody and just to talk to them and not like be all freaked out and stuff like that, man. Yeah, it's so crazy, man. This has been one hell of a year.
Yeah. I'm glad to see, you know, old faces and faces coming back now, right?
Absolutely,
like,
man.
especially this last month, you know?
Yeah, because, you know, we gained like a whole different clientele over the pandemic, you know, because unfortunately a lot of gyms were shut down. And so we're getting all kinds of new faces. Some of the old faces stuck around and then some of them didn't, you know. But then now, like, all those old faces are coming back, so it's good to see all those people, you know, and they're doing all right, and they're just getting back into the groove, man. That's what everybody's doing now, is getting back into the groove, you know.
Yeah.
But we're popping over here, man. I'm happy.
Yeah. Yeah, some people, right, like they're working remotely or from home, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And so people that used to work here in this area aren't working here anymore.
Like,
and
yeah, we have
staying at home. And
we have a lot of those Disney peeps over here, man, and they live different. It sucks that we lost people like AD and Medium John for a while and stuff like that. You know, people who are like staples of Legacy. You know.
Yeah.
So it's good to see they're popping back up. So it's good to see those faces again. Yeah, you know, because I miss those
guys that have been in the game, training for years.
Exactly.
You know,
exactly.
It's tough, you know. You miss those guys.
Definitely, man. But
yeah,
you know,
it's just good to see them back for sure.
Absolutely, man. But yeah, man, you know, like it's cool because like Legacy is so much more than just a place to train. It's a whole, you built like a whole community of martial arts and fitness. You know, it's more than just a gym, you know, and then we're connected to the cafe too, and it's all so good over here. People don't, you know, that's why I'm constantly reminding people like about how good we have it here, you know. You know, and it's not an easy business. You know, we've all had a bunch of different gyms and stuff like that. So like right here, Legacy, you know, you've done it right, and I'm just happy to be a part of it, man. Like it was like, you know,
teamwork
like
makes the dream work.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. You know, it's like, you know, like it like I remember like, you know, I had my gym and then I lost my gym, and you kind of had like a bad element here, and that they left, and then I came over here and it was just like a perfect fit. Yeah. You know, it was just like a perfect fit. Like right away I was like, man, everybody here's so nice and respectful here, you know, and there was like the discipline aspect that I feel is missing in jiu-jitsu too, because jiu-jitsu, like, you know, back in the day there was no etiquette, there was nothing. Right. It was just all like
Fight Club, yeah.
It was just crazy. It was like so unstructured and everything. And I came here, I was like, oh man, this is good. There's structure here. There's bowing, there's lining up. It's so good, and then it just fit and everything. And you know, like I've been here for 7 years now, man. So, you know, and
good culture, right? To learn, right? To learn,
definitely. This is a great place. It's a great place to learn, man. Yeah, a great place. So much knowledge in here. It's crazy, you know. Really
I'm blessed with the guys with you know, the team that we have. You know, it's really right.
Man.
It's like it's
because you know, like
what we have. It is.
It really is, because you know we have the best people to learn from are the people who are passionate about what they're teaching. So we have, like, is there anybody more enthusiastic than Professor Dan? But he loves to teach. He was like, hey,
10 o'clock at night. You're coming in at 5:30 in the morning. He's coming in he's here at 10 o'clock at night with the same energy.
He's so enthusiastic, and like me and him and like Coach Erica, she's so passionate about teaching. I really love teaching, you know, and that's such a good thing to have at a gym, people, because you can tell when people are just kind of going through the motions, man. You know. And we don't, because we really like to teach and stuff like that. So it's cool to have like a whole bunch of different coaches and professors. And we have so many good ones, and everyone has like a little bit of different style. You know, you have like Professor Mike Murder. He has like that 10th planet game, and he is really technical, and he doesn't have that strength game. He's more finesse because he's like a break dancer, you know. And then you have me, and so it's really cool that we have our students have such an opportunity to learn from so many different instructors, you know. And it's awesome, man. I have like, and tell people all the time, man, you know, like, this is not I would be doing this even if I had a job, but this is my job, and I don't wake up in the morning going, oh, I gotta teach again. I never wake
just to see what's going on. Huh?
No, man, I wake up.
You just show up.
I like waking up. You know, I like waking up at 4 a.m. I like having my couple shots of espresso, and I love coming to class and seeing that people actually show up to my class at 5:30 a.m. It's cool, man. I like working out with people, man. I rather work out with my students than just to work out by myself at home, you know.
Yeah.
Everybody's different, but I enjoy it. I enjoy the energy, and I enjoy the feeling of them coming in and working out, giving them a good workout, and that they get to go to work after that all, like their endorphins are popping and they're happy. They, you know, it's a good positive way to start off the day, you know. I remember like Mike Tyson in the day, his custom auto, I think it told him like to start running at 5 a.m. and he was that way you're up before your opponents are, you know. So I was like, yeah.
Floyd Mayweather, right? He would get up.
He'd get up even earlier,
like 2, 3 in the morning.
Yeah. You see, that's why he is what he is, man. You know, like he I saw something on him on
the early bird gets the worm, right?
Or you can say, early to bed, early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise.
Boom.
You know who said that? That was Benjamin Franklin.
Joey James, the philosopher.
Somebody told me that. I was like, ooh, that's really nice. And it was Benjamin Franklin. I guess that comes from his The Poor Man's Almanac. Have you ever heard that one? And he has like a lot of quotes and stuff like that, you know?
That's a big one.
Smart guy.
Yeah, man. You know, let's go back to KettleJitsu because I'm excited to be working because we've been doing, you know, I've been doing the Tac Fit. I did KettleJitsu too, right?
Yeah,
our students love it here, and you know, we all love it, right? And so we started talking and just to kind of work together on the fitness side, right? Like globally and help each other out, right? To grow the brands and stuff. But so KettleJitsu working with Tac Fit now.
Yeah, for sure, man. Like it's just it's so funny how like we've evolved at this gym, right? Because I was already doing it. You had already known Scott Sonnen, but you weren't really like heavy into. You weren't into the Tac Fit because you were just doing jiu-jitsu.
I didn't know. I never had anybody to show me.
Yeah, for sure. And
I always wanted to go to a Tac Fit gym, right? For like since like 2007.
Sure.
And there's just never any place that I
absolutely,
could go to.
man. Because you know these modalities, there's not too many experts or people who really know how to teach it yet, because they're still relatively new as compared to like barbells and stuff like that. Right. But it's funny because you know, like I saw, because I think, you know, as martial artists, you know, you and I were really into like fighting, and we both fought professional MMA. But there's a direct connection, and people don't realize it. There's a direct connection to fitness. So naturally, like that was the next route, and the gym too, because I always wanted to find something cool to teach to people, and then like I
think it's interconnected, right? Like
it's
for fighting, for combat, for survival, and whatever back in the day, like you got to be in shape,
man. You got to be in shape.
So that's the stuff that you
absolutely,
it's part of the training.
Absolutely, man. So like they go hand in hand, because I mean, even Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu athletes, they have to do some kind of strength and conditioning. If you're not doing strength and conditioning, you're not going to be as sharp as those other cats. So it's important to find some type of fitness that you really enjoy doing, and you know, like now, like the Tac Fit organization, they have ESIC, who is the first innovator of mace bells. I don't care what anybody. I've known ESIC for a long time. I've known ESIC before he did mace bells, but I knew the one guy that did mace bell, but he only did like one exercise. I love him. I mean, this guy's a great guy. He's like the OG, really, like a Rick Brown. But he used to always go, Joey, he's like, oh, you need to do this mace bell. I was like, Rick, you only like
the concepts of Tac Fit are like this. All the things that
I was like, you only do one move. It looks boring, man. I'm sorry. I was like, I know you love it, but like, I don't want to just do one move. And then when ESIC did, I was like, okay, so that's the evolution of mace bell. Somebody needed to do something different with that and show like the potential of it, really like develop it, and that's what ESIC did. That's what Scott
he's doing, right? He's doing mindful mechanics. Is so cool. Like I got to do a cert this weekend.
For sure, man.
And experience it. You know, like my brain was cooked. You know, like you feel yourself getting. You know, you're working out your brain. You know.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. I mean, like when you're doing stronger, like patterns and stuff like that, you have to focus. You have to focus, and that's another. That's the same thing with the kettlebell flows too. And same thing with the club bells too. You know. So what I think is cool about me joining Tac Fit is that you have the 3 biggest innovators in these 3 modalities, and you know, the biggest innovators in like fitness history in a long time, because a lot of people are doing it, but they don't realize where it came from. You know, nobody came up with. Scott Sonnen is the club belt master. He's the one who's been doing. He was doing it before me, and he was doing body weight and stuff like that too. And then we have E6, and then we have me. Like nobody was doing anything different with kettlebells. You know, so I think that's really cool to have these 3 people in one organization. And I honestly don't think there's anybody who can really claim that, you know. You know, it's pretty cool. And it's
a very organic way, right? We're already family. We see each other almost every.
You fell in love with Tac Fit, and then you know you did your thing, like, and that's one of the things I admire about you is when you you're like a pit bull. Once you get hooked on something, then you want to be the best at it, and you can. I'm laughing because Alberto like
retard, like a full retard.
No, but I do that too. Probably not as much as you know, but like you do it, and you get one track minded. I do the same thing. It was like whenever I got into kettlebells, I was like, I couldn't think about anything else. And I look at you sometimes, and I know what's twirling in your head, right? I know what's going on. I was like, he has club bells going on up there. But what people don't understand is that's also what you have to do to get good at something. You're not going to ever get good at anything if you don't really become kind of obsessive about it, you know? If you just do stuff like casually, okay, you'll be okay. But like, you know, if you really want to get good at it, and you really want to master something, you have to like think about it all the time, man.
You gotta focus.
You have to focus on it. You know, you have to be in that moment all the time and always be doing it. And that's what I did with kettlebell. I did it for so long. Jiu-Jitsu, MMA, everything.
What's cool about you is that you were the first. You were the originator. You're the first guy to do movements with kettlebells. You know,
exactly.
And you got a lot of hate. You know, kind of like
it was doing different things. And people don't realize it, man.
On those forums and back.
Yeah.
Do they still have forums now?
I don't even know if they have forums anymore. I don't know. I try not to listen.
That's where everything was.
I try not to listen to those. I tried going on. What is that? What that site? Reddit. And I was like, oh my god. Forum, right? I'm over here like fighting with people. I was like, forget this Reddit thing. These guys are just like it's nothing but trolls on those places like that. But I think what happens is.
But it's I'm proud that you were the first guy you stayed to it because you believed
I did it because I love it, man.
Felt good, and if it switched things up, right? It wasn't.
It definitely did, man. It was
kept people coming, right?
It was a huge change in the shift of kettlebell training because nobody did anything different.
And now everybody does it, right?
Yeah, now everybody does it. And most people don't have any idea where it came from or where it originated. You know, that's cool, man. You know, like I mean, like the OG people still know me because a lot of people follow me for a long time and everything. But everything has to evolve, man, you know? Yeah. And I did get a lot of hate. I had always people going, oh, Pavel would never approve of what you're doing and you're going to hurt somebody. I was like, that's funny because I was teaching that stuff to my students and they were asking me, they're like, hey, can we do some more of that KettleJitsu stuff? And so I was like, oh, if they like it, I like it, then there must be something to it. You know, so you can't listen to people. Other people are always going to criticize like new things and they always.
Why'd you keep going? Why didn't you stop?
First of all, because I just loved it. I loved it. Like we fought and we did strength and conditioning and stuff like that, and it's pretty cool and everything. And you know, like with the MMA strength and conditioning, you're basically just kind of doing circuit training, right? You're going to ropes and then you go do this and you go that. And I was like, man, I could do everything with a kettlebell and body weight. I was like, I don't need to run around different stations. And then I also realized, I was like, you know what? I can teach a lot of people at once with just a kettlebell and a small amount of space. And I can give people a freaking ridiculous workout like that. And people, and I didn't see anybody doing it. I never seen Pavel teach a single class in my life. I've seen him at certs and stuff like that. Not to say anything bad about him because he kind of popularized kettlebell and everything. But I didn't see anybody doing what I was doing. And I was like, nobody really teaches this stuff. Nobody really does it. They kind of throw it in, us kettlebell swing in there into a circuit and stuff like that. But nobody really knows how to use it to its fullest potential. And so yeah, man, that's one thing I'm always been kind of creative, you know. And then my students liked it. I love it. I still the only thing I do is kettlebell and body weight, and it works for me. Will it work for everybody? Is everybody gonna love it as much as me? No, but that's why you have to try different things.
So people were like people talk. They talk shit. You suck. Whatever they say.
Your form is bad.
Whatever.
Your form. Yeah.
So what kept you going? Why didn't you you're right? You know, what kept you going? What motivated you?
Probably the same thing that motivates you is you don't like anybody telling you can't do anything. Yeah. I hate that when people. It drives me freaking crazy. I'm like, fuck you, man. I'm gonna fucking do. Fuck you. You know, I'm not gonna listen to you. Who are you? You know, because most
and
of
it felt good, and it felt right. It felt good for you.
It just felt right, man. And some things.
People doing it right. That doesn't lie.
It doesn't. Yeah. If people don't like it, they'll tell you. And your students, and that's kind of why I.
And you've had students for like a lot of years too, right? Training with you.
I have a lot of students that carried over from my old gym that are here too and stuff like that.
So it's like how many years? Like 5, 6?
I've been here 7 years.
Oh wow, even more.
I've been here 7 years, and I have people who were at my gym with me for a long time, like The Rock, Manny. They've been with me over like at least over 10 years.
Wow, more than 10 years. You've had students
because they're part of my original 5:30 a.m. class.
For more than 10 years training KettleJitsu with you.
Yeah.
That's amazing, man.
It is pretty cool, man. That makes me really happy to see like these faces, you know, like that, like they're rocking, man. They'll still show up, and Manny even started bringing his son to the tiny cranes and stuff.
Yeah, it's
I'm laughing because like his kid's funny. Yeah. So so
it's amazing, man.
Yeah, definitely, man. There's people that
over 10 years training KettleJitsu with you,
and it was actually their idea to start doing it, the 5:30. Like they're like, hey, if you do a 5:30 out there, we'll drive out because in the morning the traffic won't be that bad. And then I remember I asked you, and then you're like, people are gonna show up at 5:30. I was like, yeah, man, I've been teaching that class. Yeah, so it's pretty cool, man. I do like, and that's definitely a motivation too. That keeps you motivated when people like want to do it, and then you know. That makes it, like, how happy are you that people want to come do something that you created, you know? So it's pretty cool. It's a good feeling. That's why I love teaching, man. It's fun.
It's awesome. You know, that's the KettleJitsu side, right?
Keeps you sharp.
Yeah, that's it. And then the Jiu-Jitsu side too, right? Like your background being a MMA, Valetudo, you know, I could say Valetudo time, right? But I love how you have like really solid basics, you know, and it's like kind of fighting fundamentals, and you have that basics, background, man. And so it's super important that everybody has those pieces, you know, in place.
Definitely, man. Definitely. Yeah, I think that's why we get along so well, is because we kind of have like the same background. You know, we're MMA fighters, and then what do MMA fighters do whenever they retire? Jiu-Jitsu. Because like when you're a fighter, man, you always you never stop being a fighter. You want to fight, man. You know, like even though I'm not competing, the tournaments are popping up. I'm like, I'm like going to the IBJJF website. I'm like looking who's in my bracket and stuff like that. You know, like yeah. So like we both.
For me, I did jiu-jitsu, right, for so many years before, and then I started fighting. I got my black belt, right. But then, you know, again, like, what do you do after your career, right?
Yeah.
And so it's so beautiful that you can keep going.
Just keep going to jiu-jitsu.
With the different master, you can compete too, right?
Yeah,
and the different master divisions. Yeah. It's amazing, you know.
It's so cool, man. It's so cool that
travel,
like somebody my
compete.
Age can, yeah.
And the guys
so
are good and tough, right? It's crazy.
Man.
You have to bring your A game.
Yeah, I remember like I was telling one of my old students I was going to start competing in the masters and all that, and he's like, "Oh, you're just going to kill everybody," because he looks at me. He's like, "Nobody's going to be as in good a shape of you in your age," and he couldn't have been more wrong. You know,
it's like a lot of tactics too, right?
Yeah,
you know,
it's hard,
people that know how to compete, and
definitely, man.
They have different experiences, right?
For sure, so man. You learn so much from competing, and it's just fun.
Things.
Yeah, it's fun, and
that's it.
And you make a lot of friends competing too, you know. A lot of the people that I compete against are all my buddies now, so it's cool, man. You know, jiu-jitsu is just it's a really good, healthy environment to be around. I think, you know, it's fun because generally everybody's pretty humble for the most part. I haven't met any jiu-jitsu guys that are jerks, not yet, nah.
Not if they train for a long time.
Exactly,
right?
Yeah.
Everybody gets humbled.
You remember
everybody has their days.
Exactly. You remember Thomas the Wildman Denny?
Yeah, of course.
He was a King of the Cage.
Yeah.
You know, like when I first started fighting King of the Cage, I just thought he was the most pompous guy because he'd get up in there and start talking all smack. And then after my fights, he would come up to me and he'd be like, "Hey, Joey, that was a great fight." And I was just like, "What?" And after like the second time, I was like, "Thomas, man, you know, I gotta say, I thought you were a jerk." He's like, "Man, I just do that for the sell tickets." But he was so humble and he was so nice. I was just like kind of in shock. Yeah, because he's been humbled. You know, we all been humbled. You know, so you can't go around with that big old chip on your shoulder acting like you're the bomb, man, because man, you know, everybody gets knocked out at some, or not knocked out, but loses at some point, you know, and it really humbles, you know. It's cool, man.
So you got KettleJitsu, you got jiu-jitsu, you got, you know, now you got your guitar,
I got my music,
you know.
Got me music.
Made your music video.
Yeah, just released my first single. Check it out. It's streaming on all platforms. It's called The Vine. It's like right now, like there's a huge gap.
Is it a group?
Well, you know, originally I wanted
Son of
Sensei is the name of the band that I wanted to start.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, and quickly what I found out is in LA, like nobody just wants to be in a band anymore. You know what I mean? Like back in the day when growing up, I heard about like how Guns N' Roses, they started off in Hollywood, and Motley Crue started off in Hollywood, and they lived in the same apartment. So like
now everybody produces their own things.
Now not only that, it's just people want to get paid for their time. So I'm looking for like drummers on Craigslist, and they're like, okay, well I charge like this much. I was like, what? Like, you just want to just be in a band and get together and jam. And then no, because the thing is, in LA, everybody's hustling. There's hardly any people that are just like full-time drummers. They have jobs and they want to be paid for their time. And and after a while, I was like, okay, well, I guess I have to pay for a drummer, So I paid for a drummer to get the initial 7 songs that we recorded. And I really liked this drummer. And then COVID hit. He has a family. Then he ended up having to move to Idaho, and I was like, oh my God. I was like, now I got to find another drummer. So, and then I was just going to call it Sensei, because everybody either calls me Sensei or Professor anyway, And then after we finished the song Divine and it got mastered and everything, and DeRock, who's my 10-year plus kettlebell student, he owns the recording studio. He's been producing and everything. And he was like, hey, the guy's about to master your song. What do you want to call it? You want to call it? I was like, well, let's call it Sensei Divine. And he's like, he goes, I'm going to give you my 2 cents. He goes, the name Son of Sensei is pretty cool. And I was like, all right, I'll just stick with that for now. Like, so it's kind of sounds.
So that's the name of your, your artist name, your group.
My group, yeah. So that's like my group, Son of Sensei,
that's
SUN, yeah. And then it could be like, I was like, it's kind of cool. Like a couple, my best friend Jennifer, she's like, yeah, that sounds really cool, Son of Sensei. And then I said, you could just use the abbreviation SOS. Which means what? It means help. The rock and roll industry needs help. That's what it is. Because there's no rock and roll right now. You don't really hear it, that stuff. Because everybody is able to make their music at home.
Yeah.
So you don't hear like rock and roll music with guitars and guitar solos. That kind of style of music just kind of like faded away. And that's just the way any industry works. There's like fads and it goes away. But right now there's like no new rock and roll on the radio really. There's no real, like, the 90s had the grunge thing, and the 80s had the heavy metal, the 70s had classic rock. But in the 2000s, man, there hasn't been, like, a significant rock and roll movement, So I'm bringing it back, Professor.
Guns N' Roses.
Joey Jams, yeah. The Guns N' Roses, like, they were one of my favorite bands. I was like, nobody knew, like, I had a girlfriend, when I was living in Belgium, I was going to high school over there, right? We didn't have MTV. So, like MTV were like, oh, wow, that's so cool. In America, they have MTV. And my girlfriend at the time, she went to go home. She would fly to the U.S. and she's like, "You want me to do anything for you over there?" I was like, "Just tape Headbangers Ball for me." Headbangers Ball was the heavy metal show on the. I was like, and she just taped hours of it. And then when I got it, Welcome to the Jungle, I was like, oh my God. I was like, what is this group? This group is crazy. So I just went like Guns N' Roses crazy, and nobody at my school had heard them because there was only like 60 people in my graduating class,
and they were so big.
They were so huge, man. Around
the world.
I predicted that because I was like, this band is amazing, and then and then finally it caught on, and then eventually they got the cassette tapes on the PX on bass. Because we'd have to go like I remember I had to buy the album in Amsterdam, because the original a lot of people don't realize about the first Guns N' Roses album. The original art was a painting of it was called The Rape Scene. It was like a real a lot of people. It's actually in the inside of the cover note.
Okay.
So it got banned everywhere, and they had to change the album cover to what Appetite now. It's just the cross with the little skulls on it,
Okay, of their faces.
Yeah, and I went to Amsterdam and I had bought the original art cover, and that's how I got it. And back then, what you had to do, you had to put the album on the stereo, and then you had to like record it onto a cassette tape if you wanted it mobile. That's what we had to do back then. Now everything already streams everything. So I remember I wore that thing out, a cassette tape. You had to record it from the album to the cassette tape. People were probably going like, what are they talking about? But what's funny is like vinyl has made a big comeback.
And you replay the
song. Rewind it.
To hear the song again. Now you just press click a button, it goes back.
Man, it's crazy.
Even they have repeat, right?
They have repeat, and then they have like you can like on YouTube you can slow songs down and stuff like that. So like. And that's why, like, so many people get good at guitar now, is because if there's a guitar solo, you can slow it down and pick out the notes a lot better and see what they're doing. You know what I mean? So that's what YouTube is.
And I learned how to play that song.
Exactly.
On YouTube, pretty much.
Yeah.
You guys helped me with little things, right? But, like, pretty much, I just copied them.
Exactly, man.
And you got to do the reps, right?
So different. So, like, can you imagine how we had to learn songs back then? Hit rewind. And it wasn't that precise either,
you have to hear it, right?
And what about people like Jimi Hendrix? They didn't even have cassette tapes back then, so he would have to like listen to it on a 45 Back then, remember, way back in the day, it was like 45s.
Yeah.
So that just shows you how brilliant those guys were.
Yeah.
You know, they would have to like listen. They couldn't just like take the needle and inch it back and
you think like Beethoven and those guys.
Oh my
right?
God, crazy! Yeah. Can you imagine if they had YouTube back then?
How good Beethoven would have been.
They're already virtuosos, but man, they would have been even better, man. That's funny, man. It's crazy, man. Yeah.
It's crazy how things have evolved and devolved, right? Because things are so easy.
Exactly. I definitely think that, because now you have like guitarists that are so amazing now, but I think because it's easier to get better at it, they don't have that same creativity as like when have we heard of another Jimi Hendrix in a long time, or Eddie Van Halen, rest in peace, he just passed away. Like we haven't produced another person like that. Those guys, even like Eric Clapton or anything, Stevie Ray Vaughan, there hasn't been that one iconic guitarist, because I think when it doesn't take as much creativity to learn off of YouTube and tablature and stuff like that. You know, you have to use your ear and really let that ear develop, and I think it kind of like stimulates that creativity as well. Yeah. So yeah, it's just the way that the music industry operates. It always operates in trends and stuff like that. So
yeah, like I was telling you, right? It's really inspiring to see you, like, you know, creating or learning new skills.
Yes.
You know, learning new skills, like learning how to play the guitar, singing, like you perform for us, like all those different, challenging yourself.
Definitely. And
because those things are like, you know, it's like same thing as fighting in the cage. Like they're scary, right?
And you know, like
right?
You know, man, definitely. And you know what's funny is I always had a fear, because I've been playing guitar almost as long as I've been training martial arts, but martial arts took over for so long. I became so obsessed with that. It took a back burner. But I always had a fear of performing. Even I remember in high school, people would like play something, I'd be like, I would start kind of freaking out a little bit, you know, and that performance, you actually went to my very first performance ever after like 40 years of playing a guitar, you know what I mean?
You're like, hey, we're all screaming all.
And man, but you know what? Like it helped so, I think it helped even, I was kind of nervous. I was like, what if I fuck up in front of all my friends and just make a fool out of myself, you know what I mean?
Of course, yeah.
But then it was such an icebreaker when you guys were there, because before, we were just chopping it up, and like Alessandra was there, and your wife was there, and we were just all like laughing. So I think it just kind of loosened me up, you know. And then when I went on there, I was just like, whatever. And then you guys, hey, Joey. I'm looking at the video afterwards, and you're like, Joey James.
We're getting crazy, right? and then you're like, I can't fuck up anything.
Professor Sexy Legs was all like, oh man, he was getting twisted back there, man. Everything, yeah. Like it was fun. It was fun, man. So it's cool, man.
It's a good memory, huh?
Oh, definitely, dude. And we got that all on video too, man. It's so funny. I listened to it and I laugh about it. But that was like
that was good, man. That was really good.
Yeah, like for my very first one.
That was really good.
Thank you. Yeah, I think
respect. You know,
I think it maybe like part of it was because they were my songs. I think it's kind of hard for me to forget them, you know. Like so, yeah. So that was my first performance. I definitely want to do more for sure. If I could ever get a band going around here in LA, you know, but I would definitely like to do more performances for sure.
Yeah, it's interesting times, right? Everybody seems like they produce their own music now with the computers and stuff.
That's what they do, man.
Make their own beats and
like Billie Eilish and her brother, they just do all that stuff. That's how they started, just doing it off in their own living room, man. It's all right there on their computer. You got that, what is it, Pro Tools and all that stuff?
Yeah, I don't even know.
Yeah.
I know Alexandre and you know,
that stuff is cool, man.
Greg, they produce their own music, you know.
I mean, that's good stuff too, man. I like a lot of the stuff that's out now too, but you know, it's just a little different whenever you have like a guitar and a drummer and a bassist. You know,
for sure.
That's like where my heart is. You know, I listen to everything.
For sure.
But yeah, definitely a big change in the music industry now. But it's cool, man. Like this year is looking really good. You know, I feel this year is already going like in a really good direction with the signing with TacFit. I finally got my single out, because I recorded that single like a year ago, you know. So like now we're just gonna keep trucking, man. Shake and bake. We can do some of that shaking and baking all day long. Shake and bake. We can start
shake and baking, right? Since we started working together.
Basically, yeah. And that's and you know, I think.
Shake and Bake. What was the movie? Talladega Nights.
Talladega Nights, yeah. Shake and Bake. But like you and I, we're always trying to do something. We're always trying to better ourselves in some way, or we're not just happy. I mean, you could easily like if you wanted to, Professor, you could just kick it, not do anything, because this gym is running on autopilot already. And even like I had a rich man tell me once, why do you open a business? He's like, so you can get it somebody else to run it for you. And you could just kick back and just not do anything, but that's not how you are, and that's not how I am either. You're always setting goals. You're always setting goals, and I am too. I like doing that. I don't like, you only have one life to live, man, so you might as well just do as many things as you can. Like if you have, I could go work for the city, I have friends that work for the city, and if they really wanted to, and I could just have like a regular 9 to 5, there's nothing wrong with it, but like I never sat back at home and just wanted a 95 and have a house with a white picket fence and a wife and kids and stuff like that. That's never something that I really want to do. I always, like in high school, I wanted to be a rock star, and then after the second wave of martial arts, I just wanted to fight. I just wanted to compete and learn. Just that's all I could think about. You know what I mean? So it's important. I think it's a good thing in life. It keeps you motivated, and I think it keeps you young too, man. Just to keep improving yourself.
For sure, that's it. And we talk about that too, right? Just how it's inspiring, but that's the way to always stay young, right?
Yeah.
By challenging yourself, learning things, Like for me, like with the gym, like I do it because I love it. It's what makes me happy.
It makes me happy too.
Me just being involved and connected to everybody, like that's what motivates me.
Yeah.
I don't need to, right? I haven't need to for years, right? But I do it because I really truly love it.
Because it makes you happy.
It makes me happy.
It definitely makes you happy, man. And it makes me happy too. But like people don't realize how important community is, and how important it is to keeping you young and healthy as well. Because like, I don't eat meat anymore, and I've done a lot of research, and there's a study called the Blue Zones where all these different regions have in common they live to be the oldest. There's like 5 different regions, and one of the main things was community. It wasn't just the food. The food was plant-based, and it didn't exclude meat. They just don't eat the meat we do here in America, but community was so important in all these different regions as well. Community, friendship, and like having like relationships that were like they knew some of the same people from childhood. They all hung out together. They say that's something that's really important. So like something like this, like legacy is so good for you, for your spirit, to keep you uplifted. I mean, whoever comes to Legacy and just walks in and is like, you know what I mean?
Someone's gonna be laughing at them. They're gonna be
laughing. What's wrong with this guy? Loosen up, buddy. Like everybody walks in and they're like all happy, right? Like so. This is a happy place for a lot of people, man. Yeah. So it's cool, man. I'm really fortunate to be in this position, man, because I just get to do what I love, man. And now with joining you guys, hopefully I'm going to be able to like even reach more people, and we're just going to spread that love, the Club L love, the Mace Bell love, and the Kettlebell love everywhere.
That's it. You have the KettleJitsu, probably going to do something with BJJ Fanatic, correct?
Oh yeah, well, I mean, I just got an email from them
like yesterday or
just like on the way over here.
Oh, okay.
I looked at that. Like I literally like pulled up to Legacy. And then I looked at my email. I was like, I got an email. So like,
so look out for those things on BJJ Fanatics, and then KettleJitsu.com, right?
KettleJitsu.com. The new website's going to be up soon, hopefully.
Probably next couple of weeks, right?
Yeah, it should be up within the next couple of weeks for sure. And then in the meantime, I'll still be, my singles out, and then I'm working on the rest of the album because I want to do a complete album. So hopefully that'll be out before the end of the year. So a lot of things to expect coming out from me. And
it's awesome. I wanted to the last 10. So you've had guys train with you for the last 10 years, for more than 10 years. What's some of your favorite memories in KettleJitsu? Things that you're most proud of?
Like I didn't get into the fitness industry because I thought I was gonna be able to do certifications or anything like that. I had no knowledge of what was going on. So first of all, what was really one of the coolest memories is doing a DVD. I mean, like when DVDs were cool. When they were kind of a cool thing, like, wow, you got a DVD deal? Oh, that's cool. And then so that was like really, I was like, wow, this guy wants to do a DVD with me. And so I was like, that's pretty cool. And then we did it and everything. And then people started emailing like, hey, how do I get certified? I was like, what? And then my business partner was like, oh yeah, people are going to want to get certified. But I was like, really? I I was like, that's crazy. I was like, I had no idea, you know. He's like, yeah, you have to start thinking, you have to start developing your certification curriculum and everything. I was like, oh, wow. And then I did my very first cert at my old gym, SoCal. And people flew from all over the world. I was like, wow. I was like, that's cool. From Italy, from Canada, from all over the United States and stuff like that. And I was just like, wow, that was kind of like, that was pretty, for KettleJitsu, just that people wanted to come learn from me like that and were willing to pay was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. And then, those were probably like the two biggest memories. And then another time I got flown out to Italy for 14 days where I trained, and I trained people at the biggest fitness festival in Europe. It's in Rimini, Italy. And it was crazy.
That's where you met Nestor, right?
Yes, that's exactly where I met Nestor. And Nestor doesn't even really remember because there's so much going on. Like the guy Flavius that flew me out there, he's like, Joey, there's like hundreds of thousands of people that come to this fitness fest. And I thought he was exaggerating. I was like, come on, man, I come from LA. We have a big fitness fest. How are you going to have hundreds of thousands? That's a lot. And he was not exaggerating.
People come from all over the world or
all
just
over
Europe?
The world. Well, I think it was mostly Europe, actually.
Mostly Europe? Okay.
It was mostly Europe. Yeah. But they had every fitness thing that you could possibly freaking imagine. They had, back then, because TacFit had already been around for a while, they had like TacFit rip-offs, people doing Club Bell stuff and stuff like that. They had, my stuff was pretty new back then, so a lot of people hadn't seen any of that stuff like that. But they had like underwater pole dancing. I mean, just the craziest things you could possibly
underwater pole dancing.
I don't know. That's something I was just like, man, they literally had like, you know how big a airplane hangar is, right? Yeah, like they had like 3 big airplane hangars where you could just walk around and just see all these people doing all kinds. They had like a Zumba rip-off called Macumba.
Macumba.
It was called Macumba. I was just tripping on everything. It was so crazy.
That's like Macumba is like a voodoo, like a Brazilian voodoo.
Is that what that is? I don't know.
Why? That's what
they probably just picked the name Zumba, Macumba, you know, like what. So it was crazy, man. Like, yeah, so those were like some of the biggest memories as far as KettleJitsu goes, because it was just so new to me, and it was something that I just never expected that I was gonna do, you know. Yeah. Even though when I was developing KettleJitsu, I never thought I was gonna, hey, I'm gonna teach it to, you know, in another country or something like that. Yeah. So it's always cool. It's always a really good feeling whenever somebody flies you out to learn something that you've done, you know. And I've had the pleasure to go to like Germany and Costa Rica and different places and stuff like that and do it. So it's pretty cool.
It's cool, man. It's awesome.
Definitely, it is pretty cool.
It's an honor to
I'm blessed.
Do your class to, like here, and then just have the community that we have here, you know.
Yeah, man.
It's pretty cool, you know. The Saturday mornings, the early mornings, the you know, all the classes that we have.
Yeah, man. I also encourage people, like, you and that's something that I feel I didn't do at my gym. I didn't utilize the time that we had enough. We should just be having classes all day long. And like here at Legacy, we have classes at 5:30 in the morning going all to the night. How many gyms really have that, man? Yeah. You know, because people just have different sleeping patterns. They have different jobs and stuff like that. And I think people can really appreciate it because we're open 7 days a week. And we try to close on the holidays, but people still want to come train and do open mat on those days too, you know. So it's pretty cool, man. It's a good place to be. It's a good place to train.
Yeah, we're never really closed, even on Christmas and New Year's Day, right? When you're supposed to be closed, you have like open mats.
Open mat people, yeah.
We're all like,
that's good though, man, because you know, like whenever you do something enough, then your body craves it. It's like, you know, like how long can we go without getting on the mat and rolling, you know? You know, you got your.
It's a community, right? You want to see people too and hang out and have some laughs.
Definitely, man. But yeah, you gym owners out there, like, teach a 5:30 a.m. class, man, because there's early birds out there that like to do it right before work, man. And maybe that's the only time you have it, and you have to look at it like this. Like, one of the biggest excuses where people don't work out, I don't have enough time. Everybody can wake up an hour early and get something done. You know what I mean? So, no excuses.
Yeah. Well, thank you, man. Thank you for all the things you've brought to the table and around the world.
It was meant to be.
And
the Jiu-Jitsu gods saw us, and they united us, and we're here.
And the good laughs, you know, the good times.
Definitely, dude. Definitely. You got to have a sense of humor in this business.
Looking forward to all the stuff that
man. I look forward to working, even though we've been working as close as you can get, we're going to work even closer with this whole fitness, TacFit, Viking Ninja, KettleJitsu thing, man. We're going to be shaking and baking all year. Shaking and baking, guys. Look for it coming to a city near you.
KettleJitsu KettleJitsu.com.
That's right. KettleJitsu.com. That's where it's at. And then tacfit.com, right? Too, right?
That's right. That's right.
What about Viking Ninja?
There's also that.
VikingNinja.com?
VKNJA.
That's right. Esick, a man. Right. Professor Crane.
Thank you, brother.
Love you, brother.
Love you too.